Hello.
We have returned from Margaritaville.
Like we lived to tell the tale.
Just barely.
Just barely. Yeah, I was feeling a little rough for a couple days. Yeah. We have floated making this an annual thing.
Yeah.
I think it would be fun if we did.
I think it would be hilarious if it became our tradition that we go to Margaritaville.
If we're like to our families every year, like, no, sorry.
We're going to Margaritaville
We can't
again.
do Thanksgiving. We have this thing that we do.
We go to Margaritaville and the Renaissance Fair. It was so fun, though.
It was really so fun. I just love shit like that because I just love, like, campy, cheesy, over-the-top stuff and just, like, the people who are just like, yeah, I just fucking love it. Like, just, like, unironically having a great time at these things that, like, are, like, kind of widely considered cheesy or nerdy or lame or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so, it's just really fun to be able to do that. Even though we were kind of at Margaritaville, ironically, our fun was not had ironically.
No, absolutely not. We spent a lot of time at the Land Shark Bar and Grill.
Which really was...
It was really fun.
One of the best margaritas I've had in my lifetime.
A shockingly good margarita, honestly.
Yeah, it was really very good. Anyway, shout out to the Margaritaville Lakeside Resort, Lake Conroe, whatever the fuck it's called.
Where we have decided we're going to retire.
Honestly, what a great place. Thanks to everyone there.
Yeah, it was great. We had a great time.
Yeah, and it was like really empty because it was like cold and Thanksgiving.
It's real cheap when you go in November.
Yeah, evidently so. So shout out to them. It was a great time. And the Ren Faire was super fun.
As always.
Yeah, just an all-around good time and fun to get some quality time together because I feel like we've both been super busy these last couple months.
I know, yeah. I feel like this is when we see each other lately.
Yeah, exactly. So it was nice to have like 3-4 days.
I'm glad we were there. It was really fun. And it was
Burlesque
cool.
show, sea shanties.
Sea shanties.
Our team won the joust. But yeah, good, cheesy, nerdy fun. Good quality friend time. A good time was had by all.
Join us next year.
Y'all come.
Yeah, we can make this our conference.
Oh my God.
This is...
Well, I'm reading Big Friendship right now, and in the book, Anne Friedman starts hosting this, like, I think it's to Palm Springs trip every year that they call, no, to Joshua Tree every year that they started calling the Desert Ladies trip, and then it grew to be, like, friends and friends of friends and friends of friends, so it's, like, 50 women. This is our Desert Ladies.
I want nothing more than for that to be our legacy.
I know, honestly. Meet us at Margaritaville the day after Thanksgiving next year, y'all.
We'll see you there.
Okay, let's talk about this book. This is our first of 2 Christmas holiday festive season reads. And this one was chosen by the people on our Instagram.
That's right.
I did a very informal poll. Mm-hmm. And this one, of the ones that I posted, which was like 8 or 10 maybe of the books that we mentioned on our like new holiday reads episode last time or the time before that, whenever we did that episode. And I was like, in the caption, I was like, y'all let us know which of these 2 we should read. And this book was overwhelmingly the most mentioned.
Yes, so thank you for participating.
Yeah. I mean, there were only like 8 or 10 comments or whatever, but most people wanted to read this book.
Yeah.
So we did, but I feel like we had already kind of decided we were going to read this because it's named after a Taylor Swift song, so it just felt obvious.
Yes. One of our very favorite Taylor Swift songs also.
Yes, exactly. When Taylor played 'Tis the Damn Season on the Eras Tour, Abigail sobbed.
I had a breakdown. I really did. And I didn't stop for the rest of the Evermore. Because she opened the Evermore part with 'Tis the Damn Season.
Yeah.
And no, I lost it. I absolutely lost it.
Yeah, it was truly unexpected and shocking.
That I had a breakdown or that she opened 'Tis the Damn Season?
That she opened the Evermore set with 'Tis the Damn Season.
That was very surprising.
Yeah.
We did not think it was going to be on the set list.
Yeah.
That was when we ended up getting spoiled for us, I think.
Yes.
And we were shocked.
Right.
But it didn't really matter because, as we discussed in our Taylor Swift episode, we didn't know the order of anything.
Exactly, yeah. So it was surprising to me that it happened when it did. And Also, to bring it back to Ren Faire, my Ren Faire costume was the willow yellow dress and green cape.
Oh, it was flawless.
It was great. Anyway, back to this book. So we read 'Tis the Damn Season by Kimi Freeman. And before we get too far into this, A, thank you to the people for helping us choose this book. But B, we didn't realize before choosing this book that it was written by a 16-year-old, which is bananas.
Yes, this is her debut book. It was self-published, as we found out. And she's 16.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So just to get it out of the way, while this book was not necessarily for us, we do want to be appreciative and like praise Kimi Freeman for the work of writing a whole ass book at the age of 16.
Yeah.
And, you know, if someone who were 10, 20 years older than Kimi wrote this book the exact same way, we would perhaps be a little more critical. But obviously a 16-year-old is not always going to be writing on the same level as a grown-up. So we're putting that into perspective.
Right.
As we talk about this book.
Read it with caution, you know. It's not going to be the best book that you've ever read in your life.
Right.
But remember, a 16-year-old wrote this book.
Yes, go into it with the knowledge of that the fact that a 16-year-old wrote it and judge it accordingly.
Yes.
And y'all be nice on Goodreads. She's 16.
Please don't fucking leave mean reviews to 16-year-olds on Goodreads.
Yeah.
You monsters.
Yeah.
Not you guys.
but some of the reviews that we read.
The monsters on Goodreads.
Yeah, exactly.
Be nice. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Even some of the people who are like, I know she's 16, but, and I'm like, no, be nice. She's a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do genuinely think that like for a 16-year-old who, and I think I read in one of these like interviews that I saw with her, I think she said she started writing it in 8th grade. So it started like at 13 or 14, I guess, depending on where her birthday falls. So yeah, so let's run through. This is a hard book for us to recap because there are time jumps and there's like, it's another one of those where there's a lot happening, but not much happening at the same time.
Yes, this is a dual timeline of our two main characters, Aspen and Roman, in their teenagehood and then as adults.
Yeah.
So it goes actually back and forth each time. Like
every chapter it alternates.
So we're gonna talk about the earlier timeline first, and then we'll talk about them in adulthood. So they interlock, and that's kind of what you need to know going into it. So we're not going to go plot point by plot point by plot point. That we'd be here forever.
Exactly, yeah. Anyway, so the book does start off with a playlist.
Which was fascinating.
It was such an interesting playlist because I looked at this playlist before I knew that Kimi was 16 because it's got a lot of Taylor Swift on it, obviously.
Right.
But also like Sia and Clarity and
a banger if I've ever heard one, though.
And like OG Lorde.
Yes.
So in my head, I was like, oh, this is someone who's like my age or your age, like nostalgically looking back on.
Yeah, that's what I assume. I kind of assumed this was a writer who was maybe my age. Yeah, probably like 26, maybe a little bit younger.
Yeah.
As I said to you, a lot of the songs on the playlist were songs that were popular like when I was in high school. Like Pure Heroine, which Katey and I had a great discussion about our Pure Heroine phases. Never forget. Very formative.
It's a canon event.
Yes, absolutely. Ribs changed my life.
Yeah.
But
maybe Kimi has an older sister.
Maybe so.
That would explain a lot.
Or I'm just really happy the youth of America are still having a Pure Heroine phase.
You know, that's true.
You can find it on Spotify. We did too.
Yeah, it is quite fun. I found it to be a fun and funny playlist.
As people who force our playlists on everybody, we do endorse this method.
Yeah. I love a book that has a playlist. I really do. So we meet Aspen, our main character, in current day adult Aspen. Mm-hmm. She is a pop star / actress.
Yes.
But now more pop star, it seems.
Yes.
She's just gotten home from tour. There's some scandal because her also famous model, right?
She's a model, yes.
Yeah, her famous BFF, former BFF, says that Aspen tried to hit on her boyfriend, who is also a singer and was on tour with Aspen.
Yes, and they were like friends.
Yeah.
but he told Aspen's best friend / his girlfriend that Aspen tried to sleep with him or whatever, which did not happen, but
Yeah, but that's what we kind of drop into, is that this, like, Aspen's living through this scandal. It's like right before the holidays, and she was already going to go home for the holidays, but she chooses to go home earlier because she needs to get out of LA.
Yes. So that's what's happening. So let's talk about teenage Aspen and Roman.
Yeah, because the moment that Aspen gets back to her parents' house, Roman is just there waiting for her.
Yes. By the way, one of our funniest gripes about this book, or, a big one, is that the town is named Furtsville in Pennsylvania, which we mentioned in the blurb is a terrible name for a fake town.
Yeah.
Fartsville.
Yeah.
No one said Fartsville in the book.
Yeah. I want to commend Kimi for all her hard work on this book, but that is one thing that I want to be like, girl,
you could have spent 2 more minutes thinking about the town name.
Yeah.
Fartsville is way too easy a thread to pull.
Yeah. Maybe put that one to a focus group.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
keep that in mind.
Tell us about high school Aspen and Roman.
So Aspen is basically an outcast. She doesn't have a lot of friends. She's very quiet. She seems very introverted. We meet her as a teenager after she's just performed in like the school talent show, and she sang a song. She said she sang Dreams by Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Hard song to sing.
Yeah.
Gorgeous song. We love that song, obviously. But all of the mean girls that she goes to school with were making fun of her in the audience. And so this is where we first meet Roman, who comes to find her after and is like, you were so amazing. Don't listen to them. This was so good. And she's kind of like, why are you talking to me? And he's like, you're really pretty.
Because he's like the hotshot football player character.
Yes, exactly. I can't remember. Like, they probably like kind of knew each other before, but this was the moment that Roman fell in love with her.
Yeah. This does not seem like a very big town. So
No.
I would assume that they
knew each other somewhat.
In some capacity.
Yeah. So after that, they kind of start hanging out. And again, Aspen is not very popular. And Roman kind of starts bringing her around his friends. They go to a high school party. Poor Aspen decides she's going to drink for the first time and drink a lot.
I felt so much for her in this moment.
Yeah.
Because she's just like really trying to fit in. And everyone there is being such a dick to her.
I know. These kids are assholes.
And Roman wanted to play beer pong, but didn't want to drink because he's driving Aspen home. He's being a responsible boy. And she's like, don't worry, I got it. I can drink for you. And I was like, I know where this is going.
And he, to his credit, was like, are you sure?
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that. That's a bad idea. And she's like, no.
Yeah. And then she throws up in the middle of the floor.
On the carpet.
Yeah. In front of all of her bullies.
Yeah.
Which I was like, oh my God.
Bad time. Bad time. Bad time. Have you ever projectile vomited in the middle of like drinking?
No.
I haven't either.
No.
I've never like thrown up like at a bar or anything like that.
No, me neither. I also don't think I've ever thrown up while drinking. It's always been
after
the fact. Either like I get home and then I'm like, oh God, that same night.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's usually I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, fuck.
Yes. Yeah. I've never been out and in the middle of it. No. I think like, what was the, definitely gone home and thrown up afterward.
Yeah.
Like after ACL when I saw Paul McCartney, and then came home, housed a bunch of Trader Joe's pumpkin ice cream, and absolutely threw that up after drinking an entire carafe of wine at ACL.
Yep.
Don't do that. This is why I don't really drink at ACL anymore.
Yeah.
Wouldn't recommend.
ACL's not for drinking.
Nope. It's hot. Don't do it. Anyway, poor Aspen.
Yeah.
Roman takes her to the bathroom, lets her continue vomiting, yells at all of the kids for being assholes to her,
apologizes to her,
walks her home,
and
asks her to be his girlfriend after, like, immediately after.
Yeah.
Which, good for him. Maybe wait till the next day.
Yeah.
Wait for her to come off this just a little bit.
Also, don't ask someone to be in a relationship when they're drunk.
No. Don't do that. wait till the next morning when you take her to a very greasy breakfast.
Yeah.
And then you ask her.
But Roman does seem very sweet.
Yes, he does.
He seems like a very sweet guy.
Very sweet high school boy.
And honestly, the rest of that high school section is mostly just like kind of that same thing on repeat.
Mm-hmm.
Like them doing stuff together, these high school kids being a dick to her, Roman kind of coming to her rescue, rinse and repeat a couple of times.
Yeah, it's just their relationship kind of developing, their personal history together. We learn later that Roman's mom is sick.
Mm-hmm. She has cancer.
She does have cancer.
Yeah. And his dad
has
before the book died.
Yes. So it's only him and his mom. And so she has cancer throughout most of the book. In the present day, she's passed away.
Yeah.
Not a spoiler, we know immediately.
Yeah.
But, it's kind of their relationship developing. And then Aspen decides instead of going to college, she's going to move to LA. Her parents shockingly chill about it.
Yeah. That's how I know a 16-year-old wrote this book.
The parents are like, you want to move to LA? Okay.
That would be a little bit more of a conversation, I think.
A lot more yelling would have had been to that conversation.
Yeah. Kimmy, let us know what happens when you're 18. Maybe your parents are this supportive. And if that's the case, good for them. Good for you.
They just don't have a lot of questions about it.
Yeah.
Which is how a 16-year-old wrote this scenario.
Maybe it happens off page. I don't know.
Yeah. Not a lot of questions.
Yeah.
But Aspen decides she's going to move to LA and she's going to follow her dreams. Great. Roman initially is going to go with her, which is what they decide.
Yeah, because they were originally supposed to go to college in Pennsylvania.
She was going to,
the neighboring towns or, decently close towns or whatever.
So they decided he's going to go to LA with her and like go to community college in LA or a different one or something like that. And then the reason that they break up is, as teenagers, is that his mom finds out that her cancer is terminal. Mm-hmm. And so Roman decides that he is going to stay behind and take care of her. Initially, Aspen's like, well, okay, I'm staying too. And he's like, no, you're going to LA. Remember when Finn put Rachel on the train to go to New York and broke up with her instead of them getting married like they were going to at 18?
Yep.
This is that.
Yeah.
So.
And yeah, that's how we leave high school then.
Mm-hmm.
But in the present day sections, I think we are supposed to understand that over the years, perhaps like as Aspen has come back home for holidays or whatever, that they have like fairly frequently hooked up. I think that's supposed to be kind of the off the page knowledge, background knowledge, and that they're also friends and have continued to
be friends.
Yeah, when she's at home. But it doesn't seem like they like talk that much when she's like in LA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the impression I got.
Yeah. So the present day version of the story is that, Aspen comes back. Roman's there. They kind of pick up where they left off. Not romantically, but friendship-wise. And Aspen's dad asks them to help on the church play, which is like the nativity play, but a musical.
Yeah.
Which I'm interested. I'd like to know more.
Did you participate in nativity plays as a child?
Yeah. Once I was an innkeeper.
We did live nativity at my church growing up, like when I was in high school, and it wasn't a play. You literally just stood there.
That's weird.
It was weird, but there were like animals. It was like cool when you saw it,
right.
But it was literally like you stand there for like an hour and a half and people just come look at you.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I got to be an angel one year though, which meant I got to sit on the roof with one of my friends. So we were just in our little angel costumes, just like talking up on the little platform of the door. Yeah, now I'm explaining it out loud. Live nativity is really weird.
Yeah. And I've heard of churches that do the live nativity, but I never thought about the fact that the children have to just hang out.
Like, we were all in high school, so, we were quiet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I pictured you being, like, actual children.
Oh, no. We weren't, like, I was, like,
because I was in, like, 5th grade.
No. Kids, you got to give an assignment to. You got to give them a goal.
Yeah, I had to say no room at the end.
Oh.
I had a line.
A really pivotal line,
Yeah.
too.
But there were like 3 other innkeepers, and so like I was a little disappointed with the role that I was given.
It wasn't encompassing your star power.
No. I wore this like purple robe. I looked like a priest. I did go to private school, so but yeah, I had to be an innkeeper, and I had a little book with like a really big round pencil. Like a really thick pencil.
Yes.
For my tiny little 10-year-old hands.
Like they had in, BC.
Yes, exactly. And I had to look in my book and pretend to write something down and say there was no room.
No vacancy.
Yeah. I don't remember my exact line, but I was basically like, Mary and Joseph, you cannot stay here.
You have to go have your baby in a barn.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, they have this very intensive Christmas nativity play.
Oh, yeah. I was like, how did we get on that subject? But yes.
These children do have an activity. They have a goal. There's auditions.
Yeah.
Roman and Aspen are putting this on for like weeks.
Yeah. It's very involved.
Yeah. These kids, they're going for their Oscars or Tonys or whatever.
And they're all really good singers somehow. I don't know.
Yeah. There's apparently 2 amazing singers at least.
Yeah. Competing for Mary.
Of course.
Anyway, like, Aspen kind of, works with these kids, coaches them. Roman kind of coaches them, but he's mostly just there for the vibes.
The personality hire.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, Roman's the personality hire who brings candy and games and ice cream for the kids. And,
yeah.
Aspen's
like, we need to rehearse. What are you doing?
Yeah, Aspen's trying to run this play like the Navy.
Yeah.
Making these kids rehearse privately and learn that, she's got a job to do. She's got a job to do.
Yeah, so I would say like the first 3/4 of the book is just kind of this.
Yeah, it's a lot of time dedicated to this play.
But it's like Aspen and Roman are like flirting. They're like, kind of reconnecting, yeah. Eventually, toward the end of the book, they go to the Blitz Ball, which one is to assume this is like the Met Gala.
Yep, but in December.
Theme. Yeah, yes, exactly. And Aspen invites Roman as her date.
Yes.
But they run into the ex-best friend and the douchey boyfriend of said ex-best friend.
At an after party, they just come up to her and just start saying really mean shit.
Yeah. A lot of people in this book are really mean.
They say some interesting things out loud.
Yeah. Kimmy, are you okay? Do people talk to you this way?
I hope not. Call us if they do.
Yeah.
We'll fight them for you.
I will fight.
Yeah.
I will fight a teenager for you.
Katie's a great mama bear to have around.
I am. I do work with teenagers, so I will stand up for you.
Yeah. Kimmy, call us.
Yeah.
And then Roman punches the douchebag boyfriend.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, good job, Roman.
It's deserved.
Yes, but also imagine if this had happened in real life. Remember when Orlando Bloom attacked Justin Bieber? Because he said something about Miranda Kerr?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, this is like that.
Yeah, that's like the original Will Smith slap.
Yes. Oh, this is kind of like the slap. I'm so tired of hearing about the slap.
Me too.
I hate that it has a name.
I want to delete it from the timeline.
Anyway.
Then like Aspen gets a bunch of even more bad press because they're like Aspen's new boyfriend
punched
is like violent and scary.
Yeah.
Which is so far from the truth.
Right. So that all happens and they return back to Furtsville and Aspen's still got all this like bad press going around about Roman, and then Kane and Sierra, the 2 terrible people, they break up. Kane does this explosive interview with I don't know, Diane Walters, basically. Or Barbara Walters. Barbara Walters, Diana, who's the other one? Fuck, who was on Good Morning America? Diane, blonde hair. Fuck.
If you hadn't asked me, I could have told you.
Hold on.
Diane Sawyer.
Thank you. I love her.
Diane. Diane Walters.
Diane Walters, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And is like, Aspen's a liar. Mm-hmm. She did come on to me. What was his motivation in this whole thing? I have no idea. He's just a villain.
Attention, maybe?
Yeah, okay.
Maybe he wanted to come between Aspen and her friend?
Maybe.
I don't know. We don't get the reason why.
Yeah, but
he's a bad guy.
Yeah, he's a bad guy. In this like 2-minute interview where Diane Walters does not reach out to Aspen whatsoever and just lets this man say things.
And even Aspen is like, aren't journalists supposed to ask me for comments if they're going to say shit about me?
It was kind of funny reading what Kimi writes about journalists, where I'm just like, you don't know how this works.
Yeah.
I understand why you don't know how this works. Where at one point she says, the interviewers are trained to be respectful. And I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
So no slights to Kimi, who again is 16 and has no idea and has no reason to have any idea how the internal workings of journalists.
Also, Kimi,
happen.
You're right. They should reach out for a comment if
You
they're
are-
going to say bad things about you.
Yeah, absolutely. That is correct. But
so, yeah, spot on that one.
the interview questions did make me laugh at points.
Yes, very funny.
Yeah. But Kane, the asshole, reveals that, or tries to say that Aspen had told Sierra, her former best friend, about a co-star who had sexually assaulted her, which was private information. And Kane reveals that information and says that Aspen lied about it.
Yeah.
Aspen did not lie about it, was never like making it public that this had happened. So two really horrible things to this interviewer. Aspen puts out a statement and is like, this did happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Her Roman's iCloud also gets hacked at the same time.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, not like sexy photos of them, but like intimate photos of them.
Yeah. Like her in her underwear.
Yeah. Not like nudes, but like, photos of them like in bed together, like waking up in the morning, kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That all happens like at the same time. Then her dad falls at the auto shop where he works, has to go to the hospital, have emergency surgery.
Turns out he has Parkinson's.
Didn't tell her.
Yeah.
Roman
Told
knew.
Roman.
Yeah. Aspen is understandably upset. Roman says something really mean to her.
Yeah.
And is like,
he basically calls her an attention whore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they immediately make up.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. As Katie put it earlier, they're really good at conflict resolution in this book.
Yeah, which in some instances I was like, cool. Like, especially when they're really young and getting into like silly fights and then they're just like, sorry, that was stupid. I was like, that's nice.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to deal with this like stupid drama back and forth, which y'all know we don't like in these books.
Right.
But then in stuff like this, I'm like, I maybe would have argued a little bit more.
Yeah. We can be a little bit upset about this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. But Aspen puts out this statement. Everybody believes her and realizes all these jerks have been lying about her.
Sierra calls her and apologizes at some point.
No, Aspen doesn't even let her apologize.
Oh,
She's just like, you fucked up.
Sierra's
Leave me alone.
trying to call her to apologize. Yeah.
Or not, or I don't know.
Or something.
Something. She tries to call her.
Yeah.
The play goes off without a hitch. It wins all the Tonys. It's great.
Aspen has shaped young minds.
Yes. And she decides she's going to stay in Furtsville.
Yep.
And release an indie album.
Yep. Because basically she calls her manager after and is like, so the record label's going to let me do anything I want, right? And the manager's like, correct. Because she's like, everyone's falling over themselves to be like, oh, like Aspen was right. Whatever.
Yeah.
So we get an epilogue. Or we get a time jump and then an epilogue.
We do.
We get a 1 year later and then an epilogue.
Yes. The 1 year later is they have bought a house in Allentown.
Yeah.
Which I imagine is near Furtsville. Allentown is a real place.
Allentown is real, yeah.
Yeah. Furtsville is not. They also bought a condo in LA because Aspen's a bazillionaire.
Yeah.
And they're like splitting their time between the two places. Roman's in school. She's like winning the equivalent of a Grammy in this book. And then we get an epilogue 4 years later. They've gotten married. They've like bought another house.
Yeah.
And they're having a baby.
Yep.
The end.
The end. So yeah, again, we're looking at this through the lens of a 16-year-old wrote this. So there were some things that went well. There were some things that did not go well.
Right.
But I will say one of the first things I noticed, like, after I realized that Kimi is 16, it's clear that she's read a bunch of romance novels.
Yes. She can clearly like pick out things that she likes in romance novels and she wants to try to do them.
Yeah, like, and it follows the formula
right.
of a romance novel. Also super ambitious to do the dual timeline.
Very ambitious. A dual timeline is hard.
Right. Even the best writers, like, you know, who have written like a ton of books, I feel like it's really hard.
Yeah. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
So that's an ambitious, we're going to do this from our first novel.
Yeah.
Kind of like, okay.
Yeah. It did feel more like a YA book than a new adult book, which makes sense considering a 16-year-old wrote it.
Right.
I do think it was ballsy of Kimi to, you know, take a swing at writing characters who are in their 20s when that is not an age that she's been yet.
Yes.
Like, I would never try to write a character who was like in their 50s because I have not been in my 50s yet.
Yeah.
So good for her for doing that. I do think the section when they're younger is a little stronger just because age group. That makes sense.
Right.
What I do a little bit have beef with, even though I agree that I think this would have worked better as a YA novel, there is a Goodreads reviewer that was like, this should have been YA because the writing's not there or whatever. And I take issue with that because just because something is not as well written as you think it should be does not mean it should be for youths, because there are some really excellent YA novels out there that are better written than some of the adult novels that I've read.
YA is not a dumping ground.
Right, exactly. I do think it should be YA simply because I think that was the stronger section of the book.
This should have been a YA novel in that it is written from somebody who has more of that perspective and, you know, probably tailored a little bit. I think it was probably ambitious to try to write a romance that is one dual timeline, as we said. And, you know, this is not this kind of scenario, the 'tis the damn season scenario of it all. That is a very uniquely like adult scenario. Right. And so trying to do that when you don't have that perspective of like, you know, being somebody in your early 20s is incredibly hard. Right. Like you said, you're not going to try to write somebody in their 50s. Like you've never been 50. Right. So I think like I would have, you know, I would love to see Kimi write like a YA romance as somebody who has that perspective and clearly knows and has read a lot of romance. Would love to see her do that of like something that is fully like a high school perspective.
For sure.
Like that would probably be where she would have really come out swinging a little bit harder.
Yeah, I completely agree. I do think, as we've said, like this is such a great starting point for a teenager. Like the writing is very straightforward. It's very like this happened and then this happened and then this happened. But like I read a lot of writing by young people who don't have that much writing experience. And like, that is generally like how it starts. Right. Like before you really find your voice, it's like, well, let me just put on the page what happened. And then you kind of shape it from there. So I think this was a great starting point. I think it's so fucking impressive that she wrote an entire book. Yeah. I don't think I could do that now, let alone at 16. And she took the initiative to apparently self-publish it. And I read in some interview with her, I think it's like her school newspaper or something, that it was originally like an independent study kind of thing for school. So like super cool that she did this thing, that she took it, that she decided she wanted it like out in the world. That takes confidence that I did not have when I was 16 years old.
No, and that's confidence that maybe I didn't have until like very recently.
Exactly.
Even like I was something I thought a lot about with Taylor Swift and re-recording her albums, you know, not to make our entire lives about Taylor Swift, but also to do that.
Well, and this book is about Taylor Swift. So it does, it works here.
Yeah. But I think about Taylor Swift, like going back and re-recording like Fearless and like her debut album and whatnot. And like what that must be like. Because I'm sure there are songs that she's re-recording where she's like, this is a bad song. Right. Like it's her, she was, you know, 14 writing some of these songs. Like they're not going to be her best songs ever. And that is like something I felt very deeply as somebody who was like writing, you know, in high school and even in like early college, as I was like very cognizant to the point of where it hindered me a whole lot, that I was like, I'm going to write this and then I'm going to read it again later and I'm not going to like it because it's not going to be very good.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would have never, ever, ever, ever done something like this.
Well, putting your writing out into the world, putting any kind of creative work out into the world, but writing is really mostly the only thing I have experience with, is super vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you've been doing it for a long time, like before that Jimmy Buffett essay that I wrote came out, I was like super nervous about it because it was a really vulnerable piece that I wrote. Even that thing I wrote for you the other day, because I wasn't super confident about it. I was like, I even texted you that. I was like, I don't know if I like this, but I'm just going to send it to you. Like, I was even nervous sending that, like, to you of all people.
Yeah.
Just because I was like, I don't know if this is my best, but also, like, I got to just put it out there and, like, give you the opportunity to make it better for me. Yeah. That's your job. And so it's still scary for me now sometimes, like, when we have podcasts come out at work, like, anything that I write, unless it's like some stupid thing, mostly anything that I write that I've like spent a bunch of time on that I care a lot about, is I like before it goes out, I'm like, oh God, here we go.
Yeah. When you think of like your personal successes as a writer, what do you kind of hinge those on? I've noticed for me myself, when I feel like I've done a really good job, is like when you as a mentor, because you are still my mentor, as clearly we have a different relationship than we used to, in that sort of sense. But like, I send things to you, and like when you tell me I did a good job at this, specifically in writing or whatever, when one of my other mentors tells me I do a good job, or when I get kind of like nods from other journalists.
Yes.
That's where I hinge a lot, or it's myself.
Right.
Like, I very much am like, you know, I can be very hypercritical of myself as somebody who I feel like has read a whole lot and wants to do certain things. And like, you know, now that I've been writing for a few years and doing it, I can achieve them a little bit better than I could previously. And that's just like growth. But, you know, I think that's where I would kind of like, do you understand what I'm asking?
Yeah. I definitely think the nods from mentors and other journalists is a big thing for me. Like when my dear husband, who thinks everything I've ever written is incredible.
Yeah.
Wrong. When he tells me he likes something, I'm like, wait, thanks for saying that. That's really nice.
Yeah.
But it like is like a normal baseline compliment for me. But like, when you tell me you really like something, or when, another journalist or writer or anything, especially someone whose work I admire. Yeah. Like when Dave Thomas told me he liked my Jimmy Buffett piece, I was like, okay. Yeah. So I do think that's a big part of it. I also think it's when because a lot of the stuff that I've written that I'm the most proud of is stuff that is like personal to me, like the Jimmy Buffett thing, or I wrote that Harry Potter thing back when I was at the Statesman. Yeah. That I got a bunch of like reader emails and stuff about. Right. And I think when I get notes from people, whether I know them or not, whether they're journalists or just, you know, civilians, if they also share that like some sentiment that I shared is something that they also feel or have felt, that's what really does it for me. I think.
The first time I had that happen was when I wrote my Charlie Brown essay. Yeah. Which is still like one of my favorite things I've ever written.
Yeah.
And like,
that's one of my favorite things you've ever written.
Thank you. You know, it's certainly, there's like one, I reread it recently and I still was like, I would have changed the lead had I written this now. I don't like love what I did with that, but it was kind of like timely at the time. But everything else, I'm like, you know what? This is still like really personal to me. Right. And I think I did a good job. Yeah. But that was when I got like reader emails from like people who read it and were like, I'm saving this. I'm keeping this with my things and I'm going to read it. This is like the first time I had somebody email me and was like, I've been reading The Statesman for like 40 years. I've never cut something out and put it on the fridge. Yeah. Like, that's really cool. Yeah. But you just don't always have that happen. Like, that's a very like specific thing.
Right. I've had that happen twice in my career.
Yeah. I had it for Charlie Brown and then my recent New York Times thing I wrote about Texas writing about the New York Times in a weird way. Yeah. I got a lot of that. Thank you. I got a lot of really cool like journalism people like messaging me. Elizabeth Findell emailed me and was like, I hope you win a Pulitzer. I was like, thank you so much.
That's so funny.
Which is really funny. But it's like, you know, in the context of this conversation, this is never anything that I would do. Like I told you before we started recording, is like I was too cognizant of the fact, like, I know this is not good in the grand scheme of things. Or this is not like great art. And I have been somebody who is like, you know, we've had conversations of like, you got to make bad art before you can make good art, or like subpar art before you can make great art or whatever. Like, and you know, again, Kimi's 16.
Right.
This is crazy. Like I would have never done this because I don't have the confidence. I didn't have the confidence. And it was like me assuming that older me was going to look back on this and just like really hate it.
Yeah.
And that's something that I still struggle with. And so in the context of Taylor Swift and of Kimi writing this book, I really admire them of like being able to do that and give yourself, that is something that I have learned a lot about through listening to Taylor Swift, is like giving your younger self so much grace and like the room to exist. And that it was like something I never did for myself until I wrote my essay about like learning to love Taylor Swift. Like I never treated my younger self with like any grace. Like she was just somebody else. And that's, I think, something that, you know, I hope that Kimi is like going into this knowing like she's going to make better art later.
Right.
And like, but I hope she looks back in this and is like, and gives herself so much grace and like admiration for being able to do this. For sure.
And like those like bad Goodreads reviewers, they're reviewing her in comparison to, you know, just other books that they read.
Yeah.
Not with necessarily the nuance involved. And I think a overall almost 3 rating on Goodreads for a 16-year-old is really fucking good.
Yeah.
And so like I hope that, you know, if she's reading these reviews or listening to this right now, that to remember like what she's being judged against, you know, and taking that into account. And like we both already said, I never would have done this when I was 16 either, not because I had the foresight to be like, what would my older self think of this, because I was like not that self-aware as a teenager, but just because I didn't think anything that I made was any good when I was 16. And so like congrats to Kimi for just like having the balls to do this.
Yeah, I want Kimi to find a really great, and maybe she already has one, a really great romance writer mentor who, you know,
and a good editor
who she can go to and think, you know, be able to, and that's a relationship that we have that I really value, is that, you know, I can come to you and say, is this dumb or is this a good idea? Or like having that with people who you have the mutual respect to be able to take your bad art or art that is taking shape and be able to talk about it in a way that is like open and exciting also, and not just like soul crushing.
Yeah, like if I had sent that thing that I wrote the other day to anyone but you, I would have been much more nervous about it.
Yeah.
And I was still nervous sending it to you, but I was like, I know that Abigail's going to help me get this to a place where it needs to be without making me feel bad about where it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's also probably better than I think it is, and she's probably going to reassure me that that's true.
Yeah.
Whereas with another editor that I don't have that close relationship with, I would be like, well, they're just going to think it sucks.
Yeah. And that's a terrifying thing to embark on as a writer, is like finding that editor or that person that you can take your art to and be like, hey, I know this isn't like great. How can I fix it? Like, how can I know I can make it better, but like, show me how.
Exactly. Yeah. Because like I was telling you the other day, I was like, I know this needs to be better, but I have no idea how to get it there.
I've told people before, like one of my favorite things is to like send somebody a half draft and be like, I'm stuck. Like, help me. Like, what are the good threads that I need to pull, kind of thing.
Right.
And
that's kind of what I ended up sending you. I was like, this is complete, but not like done.
Yeah.
Like this is a full draft, but it is by no means like finished.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the other thing that we want to talk about, moving on from, you know, our creative process, is the the overall Taylor Swift effect on romance novels this year, for better or for worse.
My goodness.
Yeah.
As we discussed last episode, sometimes the Taylor Swift effect is not great on a book.
Yeah, like you can't just, and this is not what happened with Kimi's book. Like it was clearly inspired by this song, and it was clearly, she's clearly like a Swiftie, and that was always the intention from the beginning. But I feel like there are some other books that are coming out / have come out that just slap a Taylor Swift lyric or song title on it, and I do not know if they're related or not.
As a reader and a Swiftie, or just as a Swiftie and a consumer of being alive, it feels really infantilizing to just have stuff come out lately where it's just like, this is kind of related to Taylor Swift. Send me some money.
Right. And what is the most frustrating thing is that it works, because I will read them.
Yeah. Well, you will read them.
I will read them. Yeah.
I will not.
Yeah.
Unless they're really good, which some of them are really good.
Well,
maybe.
Some of them aren't necessarily great, but I'm like, that was fun. Like I read that one called The Playlist by, I think it was by Megan Quinn, which was not the most well-written thing that I've ever read, but it was set to a Taylor Swift road trip playlist.
Yeah.
With each chapter kind of being somehow related to the song, similar to Kimi's book.
Yeah.
And I got to the end of it and I was like, that was not good, but it was not a total waste of my time.
Yeah. As we've kind of discussed before, Katey has a little bit more patience than I do of like seeing things through. Also because you're a faster reader than I am. And I have so much trouble focusing sometimes if I'm like, this isn't very good, this isn't worth my time, I'm not going to spend time on it.
Yeah. I think I'm just kind of like, A, sometimes hoping that like something's going to improve, but B, just being like, I'm here, might as well have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? But yeah, there's another one that either came out or is coming out that's like a queer romance that's called Don't Want You Like a Best Friend. And it is a swoon-worthy debut queer Victorian romance in which two debutantes distract themselves from having to seek husbands by setting up their widowed parents and instead find the perfect match in each other. So that sounds cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, like books like that is clearly not related to Taylor Swift.
Right.
But it has a Taylor Swift title on it. And is that the only reason I requested it on NetGalley? Yes.
I mean, sure.
Because I do not really like period romances.
I wonder how Taylor feels about these things. Because as we know, our girl's a capitalist through and through.
Right. If I'm her, I am pissed that other people are making money off of my song lyrics.
Yeah. I think I've been thinking about it too in the context of like the NFL capitalizing on the fact that Taylor is dating. Like that. No, I don't like that at all.
I don't mind authors getting their money that much. But yeah, the NFL is doing fine.
Boo.
Yeah.
We love Travis and Taylor. We do not love the NFL.
Yeah.
Or just like, I feel like there have been some other things of just, of course it's like very prevalent in media because it's, art inspires art kind of thing.
Right.
But just like Taylor Swift brunch. Things like that. Where it's like, okay.
And all the Taylor Swift dance parties, which
they were
few and far between once, and now I feel like there's one like every weekend.
Yes, that is true. Yes.
They do work on us though.
They do. We do attend some Taylor Swift dance parties.
Yeah, and you're also talking to a girl who goes to cycling every Saturday morning for Taylor Swift Saturday. So like it works.
I guess it's just the question of it is always just like the authenticity.
Right. Like Taylor Swift Saturday
is clearly run by a massive Swiftie.
Yeah, is about building community. Like, is probably a little bit about the studio making money.
I mean, probably. But
because the classes sell out.
Yeah.
But, like, Grace, the instructor, like, gives a shit about every person in that room. She, like, knows our names. She, like, DMs me on Instagram. Like, that is what I'm about.
We went to the Taylor Swift 1989 ride because we're Pilates.
It was so much fun.
It was so much fun. We're Pilates bitches, as my sister says, but we go to cycling. We don't go to Pilates.
Yeah.
We put on our little outfits and we go cycle sometimes. But she hand wrote a card for every single person at that party. Mm-hmm. There was friendship bracelet making. After, like, that stuff, I'm like, okay, like, yeah, it is also about making money. But, like, going to the brewery after and, like, Get It Gals was doing the 1989 listening party. And just, like, seeing all those, like, women just, like, screaming 10-minute All Too Well in the middle of Brutorium.
Yeah, where, like, other people were not attending like, the Swifties were in the minority of people attending the brewery that night.
Those are like, okay, this is great.
Yeah.
Like, this, yeah, sure, it's about making money or whatever.
Yeah.
But it is also, like, these are authentic things that people who care about care about Taylor Swift or care about, the Swiftie community or whatever, like, they're putting it on for fun.
Right.
And we've talked a lot on this podcast about, like, to what we were talking about earlier, it's silly and nerdy and we lean into it a lot, and, like, well, maybe not nerdy, but, like, we lean into being a Swiftie a lot. But, I've said many times, this is something that's, like, taught me to be, like, more accepting of myself as like a woman. And like, that's not going to change.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah, totally.
So on that note, like, we like a Taylor Swift romance if it's authentic.
Exactly.
And not, capitalizing on the uncomfortable parts of her life that maybe she doesn't want capitalized upon.
Or also just slapping a title on it that has nothing to do with, like, the title is Taylor Swift inspired, but the book has nothing to do with it. Then I just feel catfished.
Yes.
What are you reading now, Abigail?
Look, man, I'm still reading Where Are Your Boys Tonight? Because I've been, as we've discussed, we've been very busy lately. So I'm still reading Where Are Your Boys Tonight? I had a very fun conversation with an elder emo earlier this week who started recommending the book to me, and I was like,
I am currently reading it.
Would you believe I'm currently reading it? So I'm still reading that. I also really want to, the fucking trailer for Furiosa came out. Katie won't talk to me about it because she doesn't care. But if anybody else cares about Mad Max.
It's not even because I don't care. It's because I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. That sounded more aggressive than I meant it.
I'm not in the demographic.
No, that's fine. You don't have to be in the demographic. But it did make me really want to pick up the Mad Max Oral History again by Kyle Buchanan that I read last year and I really loved because it was really fun. Oral histories sometimes are kind of hard to read for me because, I just, like, lose track of names and whatnot.
Yeah. So
I appreciate Where Are Your Boys Tonight, and that at the beginning of every chapter there is the, like, cast of characters.
So helpful.
Yes. Thank you, Chris Payne.
Yeah.
Incredible job. Because I just, like, have that page just, like, in between my fingers each time.
Yeah,
just
me too. I had a second bookmark on that.
This is a book you read in print.
Yeah.
I remember trying to read the Mad Max Oral History a little bit on my Kindle, and you just can't because you always have to flip back and forth. Because it's not just, like, Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy. It's, like, people in production whose names you don't know.
Right.
And whatnot. And so, God bless Chris Payne. But I am still reading that.
I am reading. I made a note in my phone full of all the Christmas/holiday books I have either on my Kindle or a physical copy of so that I can make my way through everything. Mm-hmm. So the first one that I picked was The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score. And we've both read a little bit of Lucy Score. You read Maggie Moves On, right?
Mm-hmm. That one was fun. I liked it.
And then I read Things We Never Got Over, which was fine, but it's, like, all over TikTok. It was, like, 200 pages longer than it needed to be.
Maggie Moves On was 100 pages longer than it needed to be.
Yeah. And so, like, I generally like Lucy Score's writing. I like her characters. I think she just needs an editor who tells her to kill her darlings.
Yeah.
And this book is really fun. The Christmas Fix is. It's, like, a perfect balance of, like, Hallmark movie cute and, like, smutty. Like, it strikes the balance really, really well. Like, the sex scenes are, like, sex scenes, but, like, it balances really well. The book is fairly long. It's 400 pages. But it's apparently the second in a series, and now I want to go back and read the first one. But basically this, like, hurricane has, like, ravaged and flooded a town, and the main character she works on, like, what I think is, like, very extreme home makeover show. She's, like, the host of that show. And I guess she had, like, done a house in this town, and then is like,
this the sequel to Maggie Moves On?
Is that how Maggie No, it's a different series.
Because that's basically Maggie Moves On. Is Maggie is the host of a YouTube like renovation show.
Okay, hang on.
What's this called again?
The Christmas Fix. No, because the first one is called something else. Hang on. The first one is called Mr. Fixer Upper. This originally came out in 2017. I just came across it this year because it was on NetGalley because it's being re-released.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Maggie Moves On came out, I think, like last year.
Yeah.
Lucy Score loves a home renovation, I guess.
Yeah, but the male lead is like the city manager who's like, I'm not I don't want you using my town for your views or whatever. And I just really like the characters. I do think, like the other Lucy Score book that I read, I think it's a little overwritten, but I'm having a good time. So
I'm looking at it on the Amazon listing right now, and I like that I thought it was going to be like a trigger warning or something, but it just says, author's note, these enemies to lovers deliver the holiday feels with a dirty talking hero, ballsy blonde who never backs down, steamy hot, break the dining room table sexy times.
They did break the dining room table.
And a small town that still believes in the magic of Christmas.
It's nice. I'm really having a good time with it.
Oh yeah. I mean, it sounds fun. I just love that this is an author's note.
Yeah. It really is. Like, for me, it strikes what is, for me personally, the perfect, like, sexy and cute balance.
Yeah.
So, endorsed. Yeah. Our next holiday read is 3 Holidays and a Wedding. It is one of the ones that we recapped on our holiday romance episode. It's the one that's set in Toronto, and the 2 women like meet on the flight to Toronto and shenanigans ensue. So that will be our next and final holiday read. And then we'll move into fucking 2024.
Yeah, we've already got our New Year's book picked out too.
Yeah. If you wanna think ahead, that book is The Rewind by Alison Wynne Scotch, which I've had on my shelf for about a year and tried to convince Abigail to do last year for New Year's.
Why didn't we?
I don't remember.
We took a break. We took a break.
Yeah, we took January off from releasing the pod because we needed a break, but we're not going to do that this year. Yep. We're here for you, and we're reading this book because it is set on New Year's. It's New Year's themed.
Yes, so
I forced it upon Abigail this year since we didn't do it last year.
I am looking forward to reading it.
Yeah, it's fun. I got it as a Book of the Month add-on like forever ago.
Gosh darn it, I should have made it my add-on this month.
Well, you can borrow mine.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. All right, see y'all next time.
Bye.